Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel on a lovely Thursday evening. Post Champions League, post 3 games in a row lost, the first since 2018, post meltdown, social media, City fans fighting each other over different things. It's got a bit crazy this last week or so, but this is not going to be one of the show where we're going to get angry constantly about everything. It's going to be a proper breakdown of our opinions of what's going on. Now, what I will say before we start, I introduced our 2 guests here. Ryan will be here shortly. Running a little bit late. When he gets there, I'll bring him on and we'll get on the conversation. But Kelkster, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Well, apart from the results, but City, but that's by the by. That's football. But apart from that, I'm all good there. Bevo, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Mid-sneeze, but yeah, all good.
Yeah, I mean, we're all good personally. Just the City team just isn't good right now. That's the thing. That's probably one thing that's annoying right now about football. But we'll get into it. So I'll get Ryan on as soon as he gets there. But it's definitely been a real baptism of fire, if you call it that way. Last 3 games. I think we've all seen the performances recently of how bad they've been. How we could come and getting away with it in certain games. And I think the last 3 games, Tottenham, we can sort of keep it. It is what it is, Tottenham, but Bournemouth and Sporting have been real eye-openers. I think Sporting most of all about where this team is currently with injuries, player unrest, obviously that behind the scenes apparently with Grealish, obviously, and well, not confirmed by the way. It's what we've been hearing obviously about Jack in recent weeks. It's not looking good, but again, the way Pep's been commenting after the Sporting game post result, I do feel a bit happier and confident in it. But I'll let you guys get into it. I mean, Kelkster, I'll start with you first. What's been your initial thoughts of that Sporting game? How are you feeling at the moment?
Well, that Sporting game for me was very weird because I thought we were really good in the first half, like some of the best ball we've probably played all season. But then the second half was just like, I haven't seen that in years. Like that was just a complete meltdown, utter disaster. But that first half gave me a lot of optimism. Like I thought we were creating chances. Like Nunez had a great pass to Holland that he fluffed, and Foden just looked amazing in that first half. And then just the wheels fell off. It just took one tiny little thing once the second half started. Again, like a sucker punch right when the game starts. And it melted. It completely collapsed. Like those 2 pens given up were just completely stupid. And it was just really frustrating half because I thought we had something really good to build on in the first half and just everything just fell apart.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's just, I think the thing is, right, me and Bevo were actually chatting away in the second half, and we were both just absolutely gobsmacked at how you start a second half the way you do. 2 minutes in, it's practically a 3-1 down from 1-1. And I watched the game back yesterday, and I don't understand why on earth, right? What was the defense? I mean, the first goal for Gyökeres was actually a good goal. I can't really, it is what it is. That one is a great finish from Gyökeres, but that second goal from the kickoff, the way the defense just kept moving out of the way and just shifting over to one side, letting all the space for the players to come through. And then you see he's at Araujo who scored the goal. He just floated through like no one was in there. And it reminded me a lot of like Liverpool in the past few years, where we just constantly getting done on the counter attack by Liverpool in certain games. And it's like the way we got mentally crumbled as well. It's definitely one of those things where I just have to ask, like, have we really regressed back to that stage where we just very poor mentally, very poor, just can't seem to get a grip of things aren't going our way. I mean, Bevo, mate, obviously you've seen it yourself as well, but the way we collapsed that second half, it was absolutely just uncharacteristic from a team in the last few years actually been stepping up in certain games. I mean, for you, mate, how bad was that for you, mate?
Yeah, so sort of echoing what Kelkster said, really. 4 minutes into the first half, we got a goal through Phil. And I just sat there and thought it's going to be another good game, another 3-0, 3-1, maybe 4-1 to us. It was looking good. Obviously getting an early goal and, setting our stride for the rest of the game, because I think we spoke about it on the channel before, where as of late we've been conceding first quite a lot, and it's it's not been setting us in great stead for the rest of the game. So, actually going 1-0 up and, looking good, and we were playing some fantastic football. I do think that in the first half, we should have taken more of better chances. We should have taken care of our chances a bit more. We could have quite easily gone into that second half, maybe 2-3-0 up. Again, they had a really, really good chance in the first half where Gyökeres ended up one-on-one with Ederson and tried to chip it over him. Again, and it's really, really poor to allow this to continuously happen week in, week out. It's exactly the thing which concerns me the most is exactly how Gyökeres ended up being one-on-one with Ederson. I was also mentioning that a few weeks ago when we were playing Fulham, where the ball got put through and Adama Traore ended up with 2 or 3 one-on-one chances, exactly the same. It's almost carbon copy.
Yeah,
and it's down to it's down to the centre-backs pushing far too high up, but the centre-backs they're not quick enough. They're not. They don't have the pace to compete with top quality number 9s. For their pace. So drop a little deeper. The midfield is just getting overrun. I think whoever we put in our midfield, it doesn't look great. You could put in Kovacic, Gundo, and Bernardo. You could put in Kovacic, Gundo, Phil. All these different combinations at the moment. None of them work. We look like we're getting overrun in midfield. It's not looking great. Anyway, end of the first half, I'm thinking more of the same in the second half. As long as we keep control of the game, take our chances, we could end this game to 2-0, 3-1, that kind of score. And then we come out in the second half and we were an absolute shambles. It's more of the same. Leaky defending, really, really poor in midfield. We're getting overrun in midfield, and balls are just getting played through at will. And it's a real, real problem. I've seen Amos has actually come out and said, and I actually really agree with him. None of the players seem to be playing for each other at the moment. It seems to be that there's no confidence in the team at the moment, but the players themselves don't look like they want the fight. They don't look like they're playing for each other and really up for it. It almost seems like there's something bigger going on at the club that we probably don't know. Something potentially that's going on behind the scenes. I don't know whether it's anything to do with 115 or maybe they've been told that Pep's leaving at the end of the season between them. I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm just guessing. It's just guesswork. But something to me seems off. And I think we need to resolve it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree. The thing is, well, when you look at the fixtures we've got, obviously Brighton Saturday, I'll be there as well, so I'm looking forward to that one. Well, looking forward to it the weekend, more the actual game probably, but we'll see what happens on Saturday. But when you look at the fixtures we've got Tottenham final, Liverpool after the break, and a final mugs, by the way, they're actually a good team final. And we'll come to Etihad.
I think they lost last night, didn't they?
They did, but
I think they lost.
Yeah, they lost.
No, go on.
Yeah, I think what it is, right? I think any team right now playing against City should see what everyone else is doing right now, and what's the kind of blueprint of how to beat us at the moment. Because we're not learning from our mistakes. Like if you remember as well, even in that Nigerian team, although you play great football, extend man football, constantly counter-attacking, the other team did the exact same thing to us. And when a team finds a way around you, it's up to you to find a way to obviously overcome it. But I mean, obviously, I'll ask both of you obviously this as well. I mean, when everyone's fit, what would be your defense that you go for? Obviously midfield will go on to it a bit as well, but mainly the defense. What do you think it should be? It should be if everyone is fit. Kelkster.
Akanji right back, Stones, Diaz, and Gavardio.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I noticed that goal we're giving up every game also is, I don't want to throw him under a bus, but Rico is really struggling to cover those things because he's pushed so
he's
high
a great
up.
player. He's a great overall player, but he's not a great defender. We just have to accept that.
Not. And he's pushed so far into the midfield that he just, the second somebody loses the ball, which seems to happen a lot with Kovacic, there's no one there, and there's all that space. And I'm actually really wondering why Rico started that game against, a team that is in such good form against the best striker in the world. Like, this is a game to play Walker. I mean, I know he's been terrible, but he can at least, he has the pace. If he's just sitting back and not going in the midfield, he can block some of that space that people were running into that Rico vacated when he was in the midfield. So I just think that would have been a better idea. I mean, these are the kind of games I think we're keeping Walker for, is to deal with pacey forwards. So and he had played a little bit in the previous game. So, and he's had a couple of training sessions since then. So why isn't he playing this game? Didn't understand that. And Rico looks so natural. He's playing a lot of minutes, and he looks really tired. So I would have given him this game off.
Yeah. I think the thing for me at the moment, I don't know what I find more concerning. The fact that we're conceding a lot of goals or we're scoring very little. And I think for me, all of these problems, conceding and scoring, is all dictated through midfield. Midfield is the reason why we're not creating as many chances for people like Haaland, who, let's face it, we've got the best number 9 in the world. We need to be creating chances for him. Whipping the ball into the box, but it's not doing him any good. We all know that the weakest point of his game is aerial ability. We know, he's come out publicly and said that he's not great with the ball in the air. He prefers the ball to be played in behind so he can run onto it. So whipping the balls into the box, for me, it just looks like we're kind of out of ideas a little bit.
It's like no one does that though, except De Bruyne and Rodri. And obviously, they're not options right now.
No,
that's what I mean. We need to be looking for Phil and Kovacic and other players to really be playing these risky passes and at least trying to create something for him. Because I think everything in the midfield, it dictates the entire game. It dictates how poor we are at the back, and it also dictates how creative we are going forward. So that midfield really needs sorting, and it needs to be sorted.
I don't think Bernardo's doing a very good job in there either. But I kind of want to see.
Have I gone or am I?
No, you're still there a little bit, but it's a bit patchy. So go on.
I was a bit shaky for a moment back.
Shaky cam.
Yep.
I'd be curious, just based on what we have right now, to see a Kovacic, Nunes, Foden midfield. Because Nunes, he's played on a double pivot before. So, what if he kind of did that and then occasionally went forward, or he stays back and Kova goes forward, which is what he's slightly better at. And then Foden as the creator, because when you have Bernardo in there, he's just not creating anything. He's just kind of running around, and I'm just I don't really know what you're doing, because we need people, and then there's so many careless turnovers, and we're just getting nailed every time somebody turns a ball over.
Yeah,
it's just it's a hot mess. That midfield is a hot mess right now.
Yeah, it's and the thing is it's all dictated through the midfield. If we're not creating chances for the front three, it's from midfield. If we're not preventing, goals and allowing our defenders to try and take care of everything, it's because of midfield. Everything comes through that midfield. So I think for me, it's a problem that we need to just ride out until January and hope that we can bring in at least some half decent cover. Because, if we're playing Gundogan, Kovacic and Bernardo, you've got a combined age there, nearly 100. Do you know what I mean?
It's just dead too. There's no creativity at all.
Yeah.
But Kova needs somebody next to him. What Pep is asking him to do is just way too much. He's just not that guy. I don't even think, and I think if we had Rodri playing that same position, it'd still be a disaster because he's just asking like this 3-6-1 is just asking too much of a lone six. I think it's just not working.
No. Big up, Brian.
Yeah. You all right, mate? How you doing? How's everybody?
All good, mate.
All okay.
Well.
Good to see you.
Good. Yeah. So what have I missed?
Well, we're just going into it.
We're just talking about the shambles from the game the other day.
Oh yeah. Well, the first 35 minutes was control. It was control, wasn't it? And then it just all fell apart, which was crazy. But yeah, we definitely need someone an older midfielder, as everyone said from the beginning of the season. But yeah, it was shambles the other night. To let them beat us 4-1 like that. I know it was 2 penalties, but everything went wrong. Garland missing a penalty, tried blasting it instead of doing what he usually does. So I think a lot of that went after a couple of the goals.
Yeah. The thing is as well, like a lot of people haven't really mentioned this, but we've got United coming up very soon, and Amorim's going to be in charge. And I think if you look at it, like I know United's a completely different team and things, but it's almost like he's got one over on him earlier in the season. Granted with a different team, it doesn't leave us going into that game with great confidence, and I think we need to be going into games with confidence. I know it's 3 losses in a row, but that Tottenham game, I'm completely writing that off. The players that we had out on the pitch, it was pretty much all academy, with the exception of a few.
Yeah.
They were the best players on that day too. They were great.
Yeah, but then you look at Bournemouth. The Bournemouth game again, shocking. They could have had 3 or 4.
I still don't know how he hasn't tried Nunes in the double pivot, because Nunes has played there before and he's got speed and he's got agility and he's got power. Like he's got everything none of our midfielders have got.
Yeah, so if we do make a mistake, he can at least run back to get it or try to.
Exactly. Instead of just leaving them to bomb forward. I mean, these days is like every counter attack seems like it turns into a really good chance for the opposition, and it shouldn't be like that.
So against Fulham, when you're leaving us, empty at the back, and you've got Adama Traore running 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper 3 or 4 times.
Exactly. That is going to continue, and that's going to be a pattern. And like I was saying before you joined, Gyökeres in the first half, exactly the same. That there was that ball that was played through, he ran behind onto it and 1-on-1 with Ederson, and it just seems to be like it's a pattern. It's silly against fast wingers, but nowadays, if you've got fast wingers and a couple of decent midfielders, it's over. we just get run.
Counter attack, pace, counter attack.
Yeah,
got a chance. One ball over the top.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, if this is how it's going to be, you got to play Walker more. I know he's been terrible this season, but he at least gives you somewhat of a chance. I think he gives you a better chance of stopping a counterattack than Rico does right now, because Rico is really struggling to get back on defense.
I don't think any of the back line can cover the self in glory this so far, because we've conceded. You got to remember, we was conceding first most games, and we was lucky enough to get back into it and come back. But you can't keep on conceding first and expecting to win. Yeah. It just doesn't work like that.
I said last week, though, quite a famous sort of quote from Buffon. I'm pretty sure it was Buffon. Years ago, said, "You're only as good as the men that are in front of you." So you could have you could have like the best goalkeeper in the world, but if your defense in front of you is a shambles, you're going to concede goals. And that kind of goes the same with our defence. You're only as good as who's in front of you. And because the midfield at the moment is awful, we're kind of putting too much heavy load on the defence, which is obviously the reason why the goals are coming through. Everything is dictated through that midfield. The lack of chances that we're creating, the leaking of the goals, everything is coming through that midfield. It needs to be sorted. I'm going to set up a GoFundMe to get Zubimendi in, honestly, at this point.
And the thing is, it's right. You're right. You're spot on. And the way City play is with risk. Even though we've got a terrible midfield at the moment, we're still playing with risk, with the same high line, very, very high line. And it's obviously not going to work against fast players because you've not got someone as smart as Rodri to be in those positions where these players need to be to cut this danger out. Where he's genius at cutting danger out. He's genius at taking the ball forward. He doesn't lose the ball. He's just like everything we've not got and clearly are missing. And people try to say he didn't deserve the Ballon d'Or. Just look at City without him. Look at City without him.
He is the best player in the world in position, and when you haven't got that player, obviously, you need to find a way around. No matter who's in the team, it shouldn't be a one-man team at all. It should be a team that finds a way around it. But when you see,
go on,
mate, go on.
Sorry, but I was saying everybody knew, even though we can say it's not it's not a one-man team. Everybody knew if anything happens to Rod for a significant amount of time, we're done. Everybody knew that. Everyone. That's why every fan was crying out for a backup. Just get a decent backup. He's not going to be a Rodri, but get a decent backup.
Yeah, well, our backup, Calvin Phillips, if which getting sent off in certain games, so that's our backup not going to be playing. I mean, for me, it's either Zubimendi or someone who can play DM competently. I mean, look, I actually was a player that of someone like John Neves, but obviously he has that PSG now. So I think in the summer we should have done more in summer. I know it's hindsight, but we should have done more. We should. The one was a player. It was nostalgia. I'm not saying I regret the move, but should have been him and someone else. It should have been a Gundogan on his own. Should have been a midfielder as well. A good one. You want someone else in there as well, but
I think the scary thing is sorry. I was going to say, I think the scary thing is they weren't even going to do Gundo. Like that just kind of fell in their lap because Barcelona just blew him up or kicked him out. But I don't think they were going to sign anyone if it hadn't been for the Gundo thing, just literally just coming out of nowhere. So that kind of concerns me that they actually thought that this whole squad was good enough. And just adding Savio to it would be enough. Like I don't know. It's just surprising.
No, I don't think no one expected Rodri to do his ACL, but still, it's to me. I said it in a video, and I just think it was arrogance from the club. I just think it's arrogant to think that we could just get through it and we can just put Gundo there with Bernardo, or Gundo with Kovacic, or Kovacic with Bernardo, and we'll survive it. And if you're thinking like that in a league that's as competitive as ours, that's just the wrong mindset.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember Carl Doon saying. I remember Carl Doon saying at one time, "Well, we never stand still. We'll always go forward. We'll always improve with quality." Bringing Gundo back isn't improving with quality. It might be having a good squad player there, but it's not improving with quality. And Savio, although he has been good, and go on.
I was just going to say, I said at the start of the season when we signed the players that we did, for me, I kind of felt like, I'm pretty sure I said it on a space with Martin or something, but I said, to me, this stinks of Tiki leaving, which he obviously has, and potentially Pat leaving, because the thing for me was like, we didn't really do it the season before either. We didn't spend big then. And for me, it kind of felt like we were saving this war chest up to do a massive rebuild when Pep leaves. Because I said at the time, I said, are we really gonna go and sign, players that are like 120, 130 million for Pat if Pep's not going to be here in a year's time or 2 years' time? Are we just going to kind of make do with what we've got, save up this war chest, and then when we get a new coach in and a new sporting director, then they have the reins to make those decisions for the club moving forward? Because effectively, what it'd be like, it'd kind of be like, okay, Tiki knew that he was leaving. He's not going to go out and spend 130 million or 120 million or whatever on, say, like a Musiala or a Wirtz. And then, you know, Tiki's gone and then Pep's gone, and the manager is like, well, for the style of play that I want to go with, or for the type of player that I want, I didn't really want a Musiala, or maybe wanted a Wirtz, or, you know, if you go and buy Wirtz, maybe I wanted a Musiala kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, the club's like, we've done 4 in a row. This season a free hit, and we'll just see what happens. Then we'll go again next year. That's what if that's the mentality, that's what they basically say. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think Savio was the
Exactly.
best. I mean, we spent what, 200 million last summer though, getting Yashko and Nunes and whoever else we got. So it's not a complete standing still. It's just last summer was like what, 25 million or something on Savio.
Yeah, Savio. But Bermon's a good deal. Apart from that, like we should have.
Well, we got Kovacic. We got Kovacic for 25 million. We got Kovacic for 25 million. We got Josko for 70 million. We got Doku for, what was it, 40?
That's right. Doku, yeah.
Doku for 40 and Nunes for 60.
60 million euro. I don't remember.
Not 60 million euros, so it's not like 50 million.
Yeah, so like 50 million pounds, 48, something like that. I don't know what the exchange rate is.
Yeah. But I think that those players were kind of needed, because obviously getting rid of Mahrez, we needed at that point to replace him with somebody. You know, and then you've got other players that have kind of during that time that came, come and gone. So you know, that kind of was needed. I think Josko was always. I think the club wanted Josko regardless. Like I think any club would want Josko.
100%.
I just feel like for me, like last season for me.
Remember, we tried getting Rice, we tried getting Bellingham, we tried getting Paqueta, and then we ended up with Nunes.
I think that Rice bid was. I think they knew that Rice bid was never going to get accepted.
They still made it though.
Yeah,
they made it, but they knew that one wasn't going to get accepted. Like
they didn't bother to do that the summer with Bruno.
The thing is, these teams and clubs, they already know the roundabout figure the deal will get done at. It's like to think that they don't is just naive, isn't it? Like they already speak to each other for numerous months before any of those bids come to fruition. So like to think that they didn't, right, we want 100 million will get the deal done. If you go and bid 90, it's not going to happen. And then Arsenal go and bid 110. And Arsenal probably is saying, whatever City bid, let me know and we'll bid a bit more. Like it was always going to get knocked back, that deal.
Yeah. Was, but
if we were serious about wanting him, we'd have put the money up for what they say. And
100%.
I know generally that's not the way that Tiki works, you know. But at the same time,
buyout clauses.
We do have to put our hand in the pocket. Yeah, and you know what? I'm really looking forward to Viana. Like really looking forward to it, because I think the way that he works is very, very clever. So, you know, he'll buy like obviously he's working on a shoestring budget. It's really not, but you know, I'd love to have the money that that Sporting have. Yeah. But I mean, in comparison to the money that we have, you know, he will go and he will put the hand in the pocket and he will spend big on a player. You know, he's not afraid to do that. He will go and get a Wirtz if it costs 150 million. If it's in the budget to do it, he will do it.
Well, that's what I was just about to say, because City seem to have this look we don't spend, or look we they haven't really got the mentality of PSG. Well, they haven't had the mentality of PSG in recent years. Well, we're just going to go and do what we're doing, and we don't care what anybody thinks. If Neymar's 200 million and we want him, we're going to pay 200 million for Neymar. City never could City too busy proving points of how much they don't spend, rather than saying, "Forget this. We're going to go and do what we want." I think Grealish was the only time I was shocked when they bought Grealish for 100 million. To be fair. I didn't think they'd pull 100 million out, because every Carl doing an interview was like, well, if you go and look at this and if you go and look at that, you'll see that we don't spend that much. And so it's just one of them.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things. I think, like, the thing is that at the end of the day, right, all we can do is just focus on the here and now. I hope in general we actually get someone in, because I think we have to. We can't really just hope for the best that the injuries get back and we're just magically good again. I think one more body in that midfield, especially in defensive midfield, just someone like that comes in, does a job for us season, then after that, just go for it. Because I think if we just go on.
I was going to say, if you say
just a quick one to jump in. I've just seen Steve Black in the chat. I am not getting blasted for doing a tone and wearing a red t-shirt. It's not happening. I've just been to change. It's not happening.
I didn't even clock that.
Do you know how much stick Tom got for that? It was ridiculous. So
when
as soon as you mentioned it, Steve, I'm not having that, mate. No way.
Yeah, it's a City stream. You can't be wearing red.
Come on, Bevo.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, no, but I think that. I think what it is, right? I think it's one of those situations where it's 3 losses. It's kind of, and obviously we know what's going on and what the issues are. But I think if anything as well, though, I mean, Bevo said it perfectly as well. Like, isn't just defense is the issue, or it's the attack as well. Like, the goals are just so inconsistent. Like, goal is Prague, and you then score 4 goals in 4 games in the next 4.
Now
we've gone over reliant on Ireland's goals as well.
Yeah, he's not firing right now, so that's exactly, that game looks a lot different if he bagged some of those chances in the first half on Tuesday.
Exactly.
I remember when Haaland first joined, people were sulking that the players wasn't looking up and finding him sooner. Now the players are looking up too much to try and find him. It's like they have to find that balance, so you have to go for goal themselves.
We need someone else to score too. We can't be relying on Stones and Yachko to be scoring.
And that's the problem.
Like Foden, even just Foden, even if it's just Foden and Haaland scoring, that's not enough. Like, our wingers don't score at all. That's like a big problem. Goku and Savio do not score.
Exactly. So we can't be going 1-0 down every time we play when we haven't got goal scorers.
Yeah. Because no one in the midfield is scoring either, except for Foden. But he's still
like I said as well.
Ireland had enough chances the other day to put the game to bed in the first half.
He did. Like I said as well, though, have you noticed in sort of recent games when we look like we're out of ideas, we're spamming balls into the box, and we know that Haaland's aerial abilities are they're not good enough for a player of his height.
But that's exactly why they're doing it. They're thinking we've got a high guy in the box, we'll just try and find him.
And it doesn't work.
Previously we couldn't do that, could we? Because we had Foden as a false 9, or Sterling playing running through the middle. Do you know what I mean? So you had no chance of doing that.
We all know that's not Haaland's game, and I think you need to look to Phil Foden and the likes of Bernardo, the more experienced players in the middle, to basically say, okay, it might not work, but I'm going to try this risky through pass for Haaland to run onto, because that's effectively it's Kev it's the only Kev.
It's the only one that tries it. It's the only one that will try to pass and not be afraid to lose the ball.
Nunes did it, and I think it was against West Ham. Nunes played that through ball from the middle, and it was nice to see, because it's like even if it doesn't work off, like he's not scared of trying it. And
but did you see the ball?
I would much rather. I was going to say I'd much rather see them try it. Sorry, mate. I was just going to say I'd much rather see them try it and lose the ball than just play it sideways, backwards, or do you know what I mean?
even the ball Nunes played to Ireland when he volleyed it and it just skied that was a really good ball, and it was a great chance. Yeah. He just Ireland just skied it instead of he had enough time to even cut in on his left.
Yeah.
What's frustrating about Doku and Savio is they're both like really good until they get to the final third, and then they just like completely collapse.
I think Doku is really good at dribbling, and his end products he's just not there. And Savio, I think Savio's end product could be there, but it's just not yet because I think he's more technically better at everything than
he's only 20, so I'll give him some slack.
Exactly, and he's got the ability. He's got the ability to be a really, really top winger, and he's just confidence.
Savio for me was the one who looked like he could create the most out of that game in the first half. Yeah, you know, when there was a couple of times where he took the ball right to the goal line and then tried to cut it back, but when you're trying to do that and then you're trying to cut it back, if there's no one in the box, it ain't going to no one. So I think it's all about the other players understanding what he's going to do as well. Whereas with Doku, I don't even think Doku knows what he's going to do himself half the time. He's so unpredictable. Like he just kind of like he's thinking in his head, am I going to go that way? Am I going to go that way? Oh, so I'm going to go that way. And like I don't think he knows what he's doing. So when he plays those balls in, if he don't know what he's going to do, how are the other players going to know what he's doing? So it's about, I think with the wingers, it's about them both being on the same page. The rest of the players being on the same page as them. Yeah. But I think the issue for me is this midfield. I think if we can create more from this midfield, it will give the likes of Doku and Savio more opportunity to create more because you'll have the midfielders running into the box. So when they play the ball back into the box, there's going to be players there. At the moment, we've got Kovacic, who that's not his game. We've got Gundogan, where that used to be part of his game, but you only really saw that towards the end, the final third of the season. And then you've got Bernardo, who generally doesn't really get that many goals or assists anyway, never has. So I think we are lacking.
I think our team has literally been built for control. Like we've got a bunch of players that are based around control, and obviously you throw your Haaland and your Kevin in the middle of that. And your Rodri used everything: his control, his creativity, his defensive. He's just an all-rounder. So when you're missing, when Ireland's not firing, when KDB's not on, and when Rodri's not there, that's three main ingredients of everything we have to score goals. The rest is all about control. Bernardo's a control, Grealish control. Like everything's just control from there.
Said to Luke a few weeks ago now on one of these streams, when you can't rely on KDB anymore because over the last few seasons he's been so injury prone, and unfortunately it's part of his age, it's part of the game. But the problem is when KDB is out, you're relying on you're literally just relying on Phil Foden as our creative player. Now when Foden ain't firing, you've got no one. You've literally got no one. It's almost like he
just never plays. I don't know why he's on our team anymore. I don't know why he didn't.
I don't think he's a platinum. I don't think McAtee's.
McAtee.
I don't think I don't think he's more. He's a creative player, but like creative on the ability of Foden or De Bruyne. For me,
he's not someone that you're going to rely on going into a game against Liverpool when KDB and Foden aren't firing or not playing.
Exactly.
You can't. And KDB, unfortunately, you can't rey on him to be playing any more than 20 games a season at the moment. You get 20 games a season out of KDB, it's a good season. But then
record injury when you can't get a minute.
Yeah, but then when you've also got our only other creative player in Foden, who's whether it's a confidence issue, whether it's, you know, personal problems issue, whatever it is, when he's your other creative option and he ain't creating nothing, you've got a real big problem, a real big problem.
And as we've seen, like Bernardo's he's a dribbler. He holds onto the ball, he controls it. He either gets the ball took off him, but he doesn't get his head up to find the pass. And it's mad because I remember. Do you remember at Monaco when he against City for Monaco and he was playing balls? He was playing balls from deep into Mbappe and stuff, and it's just like he's gone out of his game.
That was like 8 years ago though.
Yeah, he's still in his locker.
I'm gonna get real for this, but I really want to see a double pivot. I want to try Jacob Wright because I've been impressed with the 2 games he's played. Just give it a try, like him and Kova as a double, because then Kova gets some support he needs, and he's actually a DM. Because like we can't go to market until January, so why not just give it a try in these next?
Do you not think that that's slightly concerning though when we're calling for a player that's had maybe 2 Premier League appearances to kind of come in to try and resolve a problem like that's
a squad planning problem, but we have injuries and players aren't performing. So why not try something else? We literally have no options right now. We cannot add a player, so we might as well try one out.
If our wingers are fit, and it seems Grealish being called up to England that he's fit, you could just put Nunes there, and you can play the wingers as the wingers.
I was saying earlier, I wouldn't mind seeing Kova Nunes photos in midfield. That has legs. That is 2 sets of very, very much younger legs.
Nunes has played there. Nunes played there for Sporting. He's played a double pivot before, so
he's
knows
doing
the
so
role.
well in the wing. Maybe Pep doesn't want to like ruin his like confidence or something by putting him in the midfield.
I think Nunes will do well anyway. I think Nunes will do well on the pitch as long as he gets his game time.
He's regained his confidence. Yeah, I agree.
Watch Pep pull out of madness. Watch Pep pull out of madness now and play Ake at left back and play Josko as a 10.
I think Josko.
I thought he was going to play Josko as a left winger at the Spurs game. I
think Josko could do that John Stones role so easily because he's so comfortable on the ball. And why not do that? You know, but let him play that. Let Josko play. Go and step into midfield because he's so comfortable on the ball. I don't get the ball took off him.
Is it because he's left-footed? Allegedly left-footed. He's better with his right foot.
We're at that point though where you might just give it a go because look, until January, this is how it's going to be. So just give it a go and see what happens. Because honestly,
just try everything.
What else have we got to lose? We're losing the games anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Play the kids because like it could be better than the 30-year-olds. I get shot down.
I did kind of like though. On a positive, I did kind of like Pep's press conference after the Sporting game, saying, you know, I'm here, I want to be here, I want to fight. It's saying everything that we want to hear. We just need words putting into actions now.
Action. Now it is actions.
At the end of the day, we're an elite club.
You know, they got reamed really bad. They probably got chewed out terribly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, and I've said this for a while now, we're an elite club. We should have an elite mentality. And as fans, we should have elite expectations. You know, at the end of the day, when you win 4 in a row, you know, your expectation should be to be in or around that area.
To pick up on that, so obviously, like, I done a video the other day. It was after we got beat off Sporting, and I was complaining. I was ranting a bit, but like, there's so many people that think that us fans shouldn't, I won't say call out the club, but shouldn't disagree with some of the things they've made just because we're Man City. No, like what did Pep always say when he first come? Even to the players. You've got to have courage. You've got to have a winner's mentality. We've got to have an arrogance about us. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So the fans, the city, and not the city of Main Road, where we just went there to have a buzz and whatnot, and just didn't expect nothing. City and not that city no more. City's fans and the club have to have an elite mentality. And if the fans do not want them to lose, and they've got a problem with the way they apply themselves when they're losing, they've got a right to. They've got a right to have that, and that's what the club should expect nowadays, because the club expect the players to have that mentality. So why not have why can't fans have that mentality?
Exactly.
You've got to.
You know, I've been called out so many times on streams for having this opinion, and I'm saying, you know, I supported us in '99 when we were down in the dumps. You know, I've been through it all. You know, I've lived through it. You know, and because we're in this position that we're in now, I'm entitled to have this opinion now.
The thing is, like the mentality of the fans and the club will just look at the way the club would back then. The club wouldn't think not to give fans a season tickets and have more day trippers coming to the game, and they wanted every loyal fan to be there to help them through the time, because that's what the fans back then literally were doing. They was helping them through the times.
Well, back in the mid to late 90s, you had the likes of Sean Goater having to take his kit home to wash it because the club couldn't afford to do it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? And the fans was really helping City then. But at the end of the day, the club has grew, and the mentality of the club has grew, and the mentality of the fans has to grow. Like, we can't just be, we lost. Well done, when everyone was screaming for an older midfielder at the beginning of the season. So we've got a right to say, no, we were screaming for an older midfielder. We should have had one. It's arrogance that we didn't bring one in. You know, and the fans have to have that. You've got to be able to have that opinion, because the club wants the players and Pep and the director of football and everyone else to have a winner's mentality. So the fans have got to join in and have a winner's mentality.
Do you know what, as well? I said this as well. I started worrying about this team, I think, from Brentford. I was there in that game, I think, you know, well. The way they pulled us apart that first half, it should have been 2 or 3 or 4 if they were got a chances off. And that was a warning.
There's been a few games like that. I think there's been a few games where we literally been lucky, and Edison has kept us in so many games this season. I don't think he's getting the credit for the saves he has made. He has made some unbelievable saves, you know, and he's not been given the credit he deserves, because he has kept us in a lot of games this season through his last-ditch saves.
Because that was with Rodri on the bench, by the way. He came on. It wasn't like that. And this is the thing. This has been a warning since September, and every game has been kind of like, all right, no, Rodri, fair enough, but every game has gotten a bit worse. And then Fulham, right, really started to get even worse. And then that Tottenham, right, Carabao is what it is, but Bournemouth and Sporting were like the real wake up call as issues in this team.
I think there was 2 top saves against Bournemouth Edison made, and it was like, we would be getting absolutely done right now if it weren't for Edison. Would have been down. Oh, there she go. Oh, I thought she was waving at someone in the comments.
She just worked about 5 minutes, so
okay.
But
well, goodbye, Kelkster. I thought she was waving at someone in the comments, like, hello. But yeah, it's like Edison has pulled us out the mud a lot of times this season, and he needs recognition for that.
He does. Honestly, I tell you what, his one-on-one save has been so much better. I mean, look,
so much better.
The goals on Wednesday were not his fault. 2 penalties, and the defense. Look, I thought Simpson Pusey did an all right job considering who up against and how bad the defense was around him. I thought he actually did a pretty decent job. From remember on his debut away at Sports, I thought he did a decent effort considering the fact that everyone around him collapsed. Around like Rico wasn't anywhere as good as he should have been. Well, I know he's been playing a lot this year, Rico. Like 19 years old and playing almost every game. Like that's a lot of games. I'm not saying,
but you know what? It's with Rico. He's basically a midfielder because I know his stance is always sometimes he's 10 in there. Like, I don't think, even though his position is, but basically when I see Rico at right back, he's just to be there as a man until someone gets back over to help him, and that's dragging Walker. You can trust Walker in a one-on-one to stand against most people. But if you even watched the other day, Puza, I think Akanji was so worried about helping Puzi out that he forgot what he had to do himself. If you watch the goal from the kickoff, Akanji runs over to Puza, and then by the time the ball comes, and then he tries to run back to his man, because I think early on in the first half, the ball went through and Puza got bullied off the ball, and you're seeing Akanji talking to him to tell him what to do in that situation. But the second time that happened, just after the kickoff, Akanji's ran over to help him, and then he's tried to get back to cover, and he's out of position.
If you look at it as well, right? I mean, Rico lunged in, and he missed completely, and then Carver lunged in. It's like they were lashing out, actually a kind of full process, and the way they sort of played it through, and the way as that Araujo, the guy's it just got ghosted through 2 or 3 defenders. It's like that's kind of basic defensive IQ.
Well, what's the last thing it's crazy, but from what I've got told of a coach, the last thing you're supposed to do as a defender is tackle. You're supposed to hold up the play and wait for everyone to get around you. The last thing you're supposed to do is jump in, and that's what. But to be fair, if I was a coach, I'd get a strong player and just say get on Rico on left back. I'd get a strong winger and go out, because it's physically not there. He can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, what? We'll also go on to a bit as well. The whole, I mean, the recent Grealish stuff as well. We'll go on that, but obviously not confirmed news. It's what we're hearing. But to be honest with you, the more I've read those Pep comments about players behind the scenes, I was going
to say that as well. He's clearly throwing hints at players that are fully fit. Well, that he feels are fully fit. And they just go, no, well, we're not. But it shocked me with Grealish because he was getting a lot of game time at the beginning of the season, wasn't he? It's not like he wasn't playing him.
I saw something, right, and it could be wrong, and I'm not going to pretend that I remember what the amount of times was. So I'm just going to make up like a number, but I think I'd seen somewhere that it was like Walker's only trained maybe like 12 times.
I read that he didn't. I'm sure I read that he didn't even train before the game he was on the other day. I forgot. Was it in the champ? Was it against Tottenham?
So,
Did he play against Tottenham?
I think so. Yeah.
I think he did. And I don't think he trained before that game. I think he just threw. He just got through in. Was it Bournemouth?
He looked way off it.
Yeah, and he's also not trained. He just got through in there.
Because Rico knackered money. That's why he played him.
When you're not training, you can't expect to play. Like,
no,
and he made that comment publicly, didn't he? Where he made that comment publicly, like where he said, like, "Oh, I respect players like that play with knocks." Like Akanji's been playing with pain, and he named a couple of players, and. Shortly before that, it was like, oh, Walker's injured, and it's like, it was almost like he was chucking out subtle digs.
He definitely was.
To train 12 times in the last 12 weeks,
about that,
it's not good.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
No.
And more, if that is the player's mentality, then I just don't think you should be sold. If you're not injured and you're acting like you're injured in order to not play for the club that you're with, then you clearly don't want to be there, and there's no point in you being there if that's the case.
What makes it worse, though, mate, is he's the club captain. When you've got the club captain that isn't wanting to trade. Like,
Yeah.
What precedent does that set for everybody else?
I think there's
You
going
know,
to be
you lead by example, don't you?
There's definitely going to be a big overhaul in the next 2 seasons, isn't there? You know, like there's going to be a lot of. I think in the next after the next the next 2 summer windows, it'll be a totally different Man City we're watching.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, 100%. And the second window probably will be without Pep. Hopefully it's not.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does the 2 years, but and I read the other day, which I don't think is true, but I read that the club are basically in a position where now they might be thinking, you know what, let's just let Pep leave and just start from scratch kind of thing. I don't think that's true because I think the club will always want Pep as long as we can have him. But that thinking has got to come into play because Pep has clearly said, I'm not staying here for another 5 years.
No, well, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so sooner or later, whether we like it or not, we are going to have to get used to Pep not being here. He's already said, I won't be here I'm closer to leaving than I am staying. He said that when last win.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, man, I've accepted that. I said before, like, look, he's going to leave at some point, and when it happens, it happens. And a lot of people, obviously, who have joined recently don't remember a lot. Well, I remember Mancini, Hughes, and all that before that anyway. So I know I know what it's like to remember manager change a city anyway. But a lot of the newer fans don't. They were be Enna Pellegrini towards Pep, whereas we remember before, you know, Stuart Pearce, Mark Hughes, and that, and managers after that. Well, we know the early 2000s and that. But the thing is,
no, sorry, go on. No, you go on. Sorry.
So we obviously remember what it was like. And when it happens, it's going to be a change, and it is what it is. It is what it is. You build from there again.
And that's how we can do
it. People think, right, when I say this, people are thinking that I'm slandering Pep, this, that, and the other. I'm really not. If I could say to Pep Guardiola, I want you to sign this contract for the next 10 years, that would be my dream. But at this point, with not knowing whether he's staying, whether he's going, and it's all kind of up in the air. I'm kind of at the point now where I would actually welcome the change, and call me mad for saying it, but for me, like if we do have Pep, it's going to be for 2 years maximum. Yeah, like we're not going to have him any more than 2 years. Yeah, so for me, I would welcome that change earlier, and that's not in any disgrace to Pep. I am so grateful to have been a City fan and witnessed everything that I have, and he, in my opinion, he should have a stand named after him. You know, he's the best manager to ever grace the Premier League, to ever grace football. But for me, with this uncertainty of, is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 2 years? Is he even going to sign an extension? I'm at the point now where I'm like, do you know what? I kind of welcome the change. And if if the club turned around next week and said, Pep Guardiola has decided to leave at the end of season, City are going after another manager, I'd welcome that. And that's no disgrace to Pep, but we are at some point going to have to move forward with it. So why not start now? Do you know what I mean?
With my opinion on it, I'm not gonna lie, I would want Pep there because we made some terrible signings without Pep. So I would want Pep to see over at least the next transfer window.
See that.
You know, and then
but
after that,
then do you think that the influence of Pep being at the club influenced the players to join? Do you reckon if we'd have had? Do you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is if we're getting Pep for a season, if we're signing Pep for a season, are we really going to influence the type of players that we would if we were having him for 3, 4, 5 seasons?
like we say that. Listen, Pep is a massive draw. You get player after player saying how much Pep has improved, and then even like Fernandinho, like he made me fall in love with football again. Like I fought a new football. More than one player said I fought a new football until I spoken with Pep. But we still,
and one of them got managed by Klopp.
But there you go.
Ilkay Gundogan.
And the other thing is, although Pep is a massive and huge draw, and a lot of players would have joined City to play underneath him, City still had Yaya Toure, still had Aguero, still had David Silva, still had Company. So even without these titles and the years we've had behind us, we still got great players. Zabaleta was before any of them, I think. Yeah, I think he was. Like we still had.
Well, we signed Company. We signed Company when we had Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes signed Company.
Mark Hughes got him through the door. So you know what I mean? Was it 8 million?
8 million quid as a midfielder, yeah.
Yeah, and it was he was the older midfielder. She had that one for us, and then they dropped him back one, didn't they? But so we've always had great players. Like I think the times we can compete with wages, and most players these days. It's sad to say that's what it's about, and it's about what they can earn, and if they can grab a few titles or have a chance to grab a few titles in the process, then that's a bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Steve's actually made a really good comment there, actually.
Well, no.
Well, the way
let's be shit for the next 5 years.
the way Pep spoke after the Sporting game, like you said, he said all the right things. That was alluding to that kind of mentality. What he's saying there, like, all right, and you think I could? It's his own arrogance. It's literally his own arrogance. What you think I can't pull us out of this? Right? Okay, we're gonna see. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's his own arrogance.
I said to Bevo that like the bollocking must have sounded after that game. There's no way it wasn't. Like the way that second half went, it was like obviously something was terrible the whole game. But Sporting, we actually played really, really well to start with, and then just descended into absolute madness start second half. Like we just completely threw it away. And it wouldn't surprise me, especially the way Kev walked off the pitch as well at full time, how angry he was, and Haaland was as well. It wouldn't surprise me there's a real argument. And it might have been that time where they sort of get out the frustration, probably. Everyone was sort of...
If you remember, there's been a few times over the last few seasons when Pep has locked them all in the changing room, and they didn't come out for press conference, or they would come out very late for the press conferences after the game because he was in a lot because he had such a bad game. This could be one of them times. This could be one of them times where it pushes us on to better things. Hopefully it is. I mean, we've got a very hard test over the weekend to see that point, So we will see.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a pretty bold statement, and I feel like I can't remember of another time. I've not seen us play this bad until maybe that game where we played against Leicester, maybe 4 years ago.
When
it was like 4-0 or something.
They ran over us. I think was Pep's first season.
It was Pep's first season. No, wow, was it that long ago?
It was Pep's first season.
It was back
so 7 years ago. 8 years ago.
I'm sure it was his first
9
season.
years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Vardy and Mahrez run riot, didn't they?
Everton, look, and Tom Davies. Oh, that was awful.
Wow, was that like 8-9 years ago? Oh my days.
I'm sure it was his first season. I'm sure it was.
We got battered by
I honestly don't remember of another time we have been that bad.
I was angry that game. I was so angry. The way we played that game and let them through, it was just comical. Like Lookman and Tom Davies just scored. Mate, Tom Davies that was ultra.
We have had some stinkers though. Like,
mate, oh yeah.
Like when there's games though that stick in your head. Like there's games that stick in your head for the good memories, and there's games that stick in your head for the bad memories. So that has to be up there in the top 3 for me.
So you said that, like, I remember Monaco at home when they had Bernardo Silva, they had Fabinho, they had Mbappe, and it was a basketball game. We ended up winning 5-3, but I think it was 5-3, but it was literally a basketball game. Then we go to their ground, and Pep said we cannot defend, we can't go there and think we can defend, and we just got run over. I think they scored Mbappe scored an early goal. And they just come out firing, and we couldn't handle it.
Was it Bakayoko scored? That one player that was terrible in his career scored the goal.
He went Chelsea, didn't he? No, was it? No,
Chelsea.
Was it
Milan?
Was it Chelsea? You went, yeah.
Chelsea, that AC Milan. Then he's gone somewhere else now. I don't know where he's gone now, but he was good for him though.
There's been a few players that shine for City, then they've gone and had nothing else after it.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, that season, I think, even though we were terrible to begin with that season, you start seeing some differences in the style of play towards the end of the season. Like, it wasn't perfect, but you start seeing like little glimpses of we're actually getting better gradually towards the end. You can see, okay, bring some players in that first season, you shred the season after, we'll go again. Obviously, the year after, we absolutely blew everyone away. So, like, it just shows that, I think, patience, especially obviously for when we get a new manager as well, patience is required. You can't bet, like, it's going to be a whole different...
Listen, I don't think no one has the expectations of the way City have been under when Pep leaves. I don't think those expectations will be there. I think the manager will get time. I don't think City fans don't really tend to be the type that get on the manager's back. I mean, it took a lot for them to start disagreeing with Pellegrini, even though he wasn't winning much. It took a while before they started to boo and go against his decisions. So I think City fans will always back the man. They always back the players, even when the players do bad. The next game they'll come out clapping them. So I don't think the manager, but I don't think the expectations will be there. It's just not going to happen. No one's going to expect
the expectation. The expectation is there now because of the manager that we have, the set of players that we have, and what we've expected. What the expectation is what is from what we have done. When you do 4 in a row off the back of a treble, do you know what I mean? Like 100%. The expectation should be high. But when Pep does leave, and we bring in another manager, we're not going to have the same expectation because we're not going to have the best manager in the world. We're probably going to have a new group of players. We're not going to come into the start of the season and go, yeah, we're expecting to win at least a trophy this season. Because ultimately that's our expectation. We expect to at least come away with the Premier League and maybe one other trophy. Mm-hmm. That is the expectation. That's the bar we've set ourselves.
Also, just quickly before carrying on, Jack Gordon's just come out with, I think, something. Apparently, a City Club source this week was speaking, said that everyone was pretty tired.
Yeah, everyone's tired.
Do you remember? Yeah. Tired?
That's just a terrible. I was at the game, the last home game. Did you see Ireland at the end?
Southampton, I was there as well.
He folded, and he was knackered. I was like, come on, how the players got to this? And at the end of the day, I'm not saying, they earn one, because what they earn is what they earn. But you can't be tired. And it's not like Pep hasn't give some of the top players a rest. They've had a rest. We're playing youth players God's sake, we're playing youth players, so these players have a rest. Like, how much the rest do you need?
It's probably why as well. Like we need to start shifting a lot of the other players, for younger ones as well. Look, I know obviously that's not about like ages, but the thing is, like, it's like there's some of these players like Gundogan that are obviously quite older now. I won't comment the same amount of games that they usually would do beforehand. So I think that will definitely help get fresh players in. But as you said as well, like the fact that everyone's knackered, that's not a concern at all. Like Brighton, I'm thinking they've got a great chance Saturday to beat us. They really do.
Wasn't a woman one time, or it might have been a guy. I can't really remember, that done a marathon every day for charity. Like every day for so long, for a long time as well. It wasn't just like a couple of days. Done a marathon every single day for charity. Now that would you be tired with. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, footballers do play well too many games, but everyone's dealing with it. Everyone's dealing it with themselves.
I've just sent you a picture on Twitter, mate.
We're tired. Fuck you. Well, I think the thing is, like, back then, games were actually all right for us at that point. But I mean, now it's just constant number of games now. Play week in week out.
I hear that players get tired over seasons and all that kind of stuff, and it's, then Ryan Giggs played till he was 40 years of age. Yeah. Every season, 40 years of age. Ronaldo is still going. Messi is still going. They did not get rest. Messi didn't get a rest. Ronaldo did not get one bit of a rest. None of them. So to say that, to give these players excuses, which I think Pep does at times. Pep gives these players the excuses to say we're tired, because he keeps on saying it in a press conference. Like the best, like Messi, he didn't get tired, and he was playing every single game. Like, and he wasn't even getting subbed off. He wasn't getting subbed off, and he's still playing. So I think sometimes people give the players the ammunition to say they're tired, when really a lot of our players have had rest.
Yeah. And look, obviously, I'm going Saturday, so I'm kind of like going in expecting, just hoping for the best. Like so far, apart from the final against United, actually unbeaten going games. So hopefully, I can get in. Hopefully, we'll be in there. But
United got beat.
No, I was at the FA Cup final.
I thought you just said United was getting beat. They played down it.
Winning 1-0 against PA. Yeah, they won 1-0 against like 18. So come on. Oh, right. Okay. So I've got some more. So some senior City players have had their heads down at the CFA training ground in recent weeks after scares against Fulham and Wolves, albeit both ending in victories, and the slightly hard work made of being Southampton. The heads down. That's not a good sign at all.
The heads down.
Say that again.
Some senior players at City had their heads down at the training ground in recent weeks after scares against Fulham and Wolves, obviously getting wins anyway, and the slightly hard work made of being Southampton. So then they're feeling sorry for themselves because they haven't been winning games convincingly.
Yeah.
I mean,
like at the end of the day, shouldn't it really do the opposite? If you feel you've not played well and you've come through on top, shouldn't that give you the boost to say, right, boys, we haven't done really good there, but we got through on top, we got through it. Let's go now. Shouldn't be giving them that mentality instead of having the Reds down.
The thing is, that mentality isn't going to do us any good at all. If that's how we're thinking, because look at Sporting, it makes a lot of sense now.
And the worst thing is, these are grown men. These are not kids. These are grown men. Put your knickers up, lads. Come on, put your knickers up, mate. That's terrible. If that's true, that's terrible behaviour.
I'll tell you, right, while playing football, right, there were times where we went on losing runs, right, and I just thought, well, look, I got angry, not because of the fact that we were playing terrible. I thought, look, I want to get a win. Like, it doesn't matter how bad you're playing, you find a way somehow of turning it around. You work your ass off, you find a way to train.
100%.
Like, that's the mentality. Look, again, I'm not professional footballer, but the mentality.
So reading into that, if that is true, do you think some senior players are going to try and get out in January?
It wouldn't surprise me if we see a couple of players. I reckon it'll be a few will leave next time.
The reason I'm saying that is like because Pep's always said you have to be happy, even in training. You have to be happy, and if they're walking around with their heads down and not being happy in training, well, it might be where the club says, "All right, you know what, you can leave."
Yeah. There's no confirmation of who the players are.
Florian Plettenberg's come out 28 minutes ago and said City are seriously interested in Gyökeres.
Do you know what, right? This might sound a bit crazy, but I actually have a feeling maybe they're looking at Gyökeres to push Haaland. Because a big striker like that coming in. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, by the way. I doubt it happening anywhere. It's going to be one of those things that's in the media. But, you know what I mean? Some players need pushing. Haaland's an elite striker, but the last couple of years, he hasn't been anywhere near the level that he should be playing at. That we know he should be playing at. He's got a great number of goals.
Well,
but,
I did also read that there's going to be funds for 2 players in January. So maybe that's the holding mid and the striker because we didn't replace Alvarez.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
And the thing is, you know, Haaland's notoriously had this foot injury for years. You know, he's had it since his days at Dortmund. You know, last season he was out for 2 months. It was only for the fact that Phil Foden was firing on all cylinders. The reason why we ended up getting over the line.
Yeah.
So the only problem with it is, I don't see us going for Gyökeres only because he's too similar to Haaland. I feel like we would normally go for like a player like, you know, like for example, when we brought in Balotelli, which was our Haaland, and we also had Aguero, which was kind of like our Alvarez. It's like 2 different types of strikers.
Yeah.
Same with the wingers. Like, we've got Grealish that's control and Doku that's just all out 100 miles an hour. You know, it's a similar situation with that, isn't it? I
kind of feel like if you're bringing in Gyökeres, you can't just drop him. You can't have Gyökeres on the bench when he's doing what he's doing. But at the same time, you can't have Haaland on the bench when he's doing what he's doing. So the only way around that is by playing a 4-4-2. And let's face it, Pep ain't playing 4-4-2.
I'm not going. I don't want to be selling with Real Madrid, mate. Like, look, I'm not. Look, for me, right? Haaland, no, that's not the answer at all. Haaland, look, for me, it should have a bit of a tough moment of time, but he needs to find a way of when he's not scoring, just find a way of keep yourself pushing. So it's not like, getting yourself frustrated, even angry at that. Because that's the one thing. Like he gets angry, but he doesn't use it in the right way sometimes. Haaland, he needs to find a way of.
You know what? The mad thing is that if he was crying and that they're down a few weeks ago after a win, wonder what they feel like after Sporting.
Right.
Yeah.
More news. A City team meeting described as a lengthy debrief took place at the CFA on Sunday after the defeat to Bournemouth, where the views about performances were aired. Well, I want to get after Tuesday because fucking hell, that was even worse.
To be fair, I think in the first half, they was just doing the job. They was going through the motion. It was very professional. They kept hold of the ball. But as soon as that goal went in and Sporting got that lift, it was over from there. City's heads went
We're
down.
not taking our chances. We're just not taking our chances. When we went 1-0, we had a chance to make that 2-3-4.
100%.
Yeah. But the thing is, we used to, when we get a setback, we locked in and found a way, or just kept playing away. As soon as we see that goal, our heads just went all over the place. Like, I couldn't believe what it was. Like, Vardy, all right, it's been brilliant this season, but that second half, he was terrible. He was absolutely just like, what? I'm sorry, right, but as a defender, right, you've got a Kanji in front of you who's marshalling the run, so he doesn't get past him. You let him go, but shot gets blocked, or go out for a corner. He obviously reset again. But he's pulled down. It's such a rookie error, and it's so unlike Vardiol. It's really weird.
And if the players, if whichever, because not every player is going to have their heads down, but if the players have got their heads down, then the other senior players should be saying, "Fix up. We haven't got time to get our heads down, mate. We've got to crack on here. You know what I mean? We've got to lift ourselves up." So that's for the other senior players to do as well, because you can't say surely not every player is walking around with their heads down and sulking because they've lost a few games.
Yeah, and look, obviously for Saturday, I'm kind of just taking what it is. Like, look, just get the win. I don't care how you do it. You find a way to win on Saturday. Because I tell you, if we go to that break on 4 losses in a row, 2 weeks without a football after that, that's gonna be a painful 2 weeks. Because you got to wait.
I just hope they get a result, and then international break, they have a rest, they recover, and we go again. But I've never wanted an international break, so I hate them. But I've never wanted one to come any quicker.
And you know what? It's true. We are, without Diaz, by the way, we look so lost at the back.
Like, he's our leader there. He's the most vocal one. Is the one that speaks his mind. He's the one that organizes everything, and that's what we need. And I seen a report the other day that City's willing to let him go. Like, he's crazy. Do you roll that?
I think it's the media that try to shake things up and that. I think, look, we all know, right, the players that are going to be here anyway. I think Diaz to me is a captain. He is that captain. He should be captain right now, not Walker. But
yeah, he definitely deserves a captain, sir.
Yeah, look, just get the win Saturday. I don't care if 1-0, 2-1. You find a way to win that game, because if we win that game, we're all right. Look, I don't want to be talking about. I mean, look, I Liverpool will beat Villa anyway, Anfield anyway. I think just get second, take it what it is. Still not too bad. Go off break, go again, because again, Anfield awaits after the break. So we've got to be careful, because if we're still playing this poorly, going to Anfield, ain't looking good. Because Liverpool will
we'll get slaughtered. Anfield's not the best of places for us to go anyway. And then speaking of Anfield, did you see me tweet the other day about the points needed for them tickets?
31,000, like bloody hell.
31. I got a text message from City on my phone saying the criteria changed. The new the ticket points for Liverpool away is 31,000. I'm like, what are you talking about? What was it in the first place? What did it change from to begin with?
Yeah, that's mental, absolutely mental.
31,000 points.
You can almost expect that if you've got an Instagram following of a good couple of 100,000,
someone
you'll get one.
Probably, yeah.
if you've got a good Instagram following of a good couple of 100,000, you'll get tickets, no problem. No problem.
It is a joke though. I mean, 31,000. Like, what have you had to do to get 31,000 points? Hey, whoever's got 31,000 points deserves to go anyway. By the way, people.
Exactly.
But my God, what are the club doing?
See, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? The club have been terrible though at PR recently. Like the way they are, the fans, right? The club are way out of touch. Like,
it's since, I promise you, bro. Like, it's since we've won the Champions League. Since then, everything went. Since then, they changed all the point system. They changed how many tickets you could buy for a Champions League home game. You know what? At one time, I could get 4 Champions League home games. This is before we won it. Yeah, I could get easier. 2 for me. I mean, 1 for me, 1 for my uncle, 2 for my children. Now it's a struggle to get two tickets for any Champions League game. Not even the best ones. Any Champions League games, it's a struggle just to get 2, just for me and my son. It's a joke.
Yeah, I
used to literally go with 4 of us, me, my uncle, and my 2 kids. And now it's a bad struggle to get 2.
I've only got 135 points.
I know the feeling. I want to take my little lad to a game, but again, getting tickets, it's a joke.
It is. It is.
And
Bad.
the thing is I can't go frequently enough to warrant buying a match day pass. Like if I could go every weekend, if I could go every weekend, I'd have a season ticket. But I can't go every weekend because obviously commitments and all that. But it doesn't even warrant me spending, the best part of 50 quid on match day passes so we can go and get tickets. So like it's just crazy. Like I had the season ticket for what, 20 years, 15, 20 years, and I had to give it up because obviously my little one was born, and I couldn't commit to going everything.
It's not even crazy, but like around me now, you can see the tickets that have been given up by the people that they've moved, and they've not sold, and they've not resold them as a season ticket because around me where at one time there was set people who was there every week or every Premier League home game. Now it's just randomers. Like there's a lot of randomers just around, and obviously that is where they refuse to sell a ticket again as a season ticket, and they're just selling it as a match day ticket.
Yeah. Look, I'm a match day member, right? And I'm grateful to actually be able to go to the games when I can. So I'll have getaway tickets, obviously, for people who are selling them on. Home ones, obviously, I go when I can. I'm grateful to at least have that ability, but I don't agree with the fact that how ticket holders are being forced to sell tickets they can't go. Like, that's not fair at all. Like, the fact that the club are forced to sell a ticket on. Second,
you get 14 fingers, don't you? You get you get basically if you miss out on 14 games without giving your ticket to basically selling it back to the club or giving it to a family or friend, then they can cancel your ticket. You can just stop you from having a season ticket altogether.
It's disgraceful. Like, I don't understand why it's the case. Like, I get how well we make money, right? But this is the wrong way of doing it, because the thing is, without a fan base, nothing. I don't care how much money you make from tourists coming to the ground every now and again. Without fans, you are like this. Without fans, it's comes nothing. This club was there because the fans a generation before us, and probably maybe the after us as well. That's what fan base is.
The other side of it is you're replacing, die-hard, hardcore City fans with corporate ticketing and influencers who don't give a shit whether the atmosphere is good or bad. So, when you go to the Etihad now and everyone's complaining, the Etihad, it seems a bit flat, the atmosphere isn't the same. What do you expect when you've got fans of 30, 40, 50 years who have decided to give their tickets up for whatever reason that it has to be, whether it's got too expensive or, whatever it is, and they're getting replaced with people who don't know who half of our players are on the pitch. I know City fans. I know City fans that have gone to games like last season. I think it was Luton away, and there was fans sitting in the away end. Now, bearing in mind, getting a ticket for Luton away last year was so difficult because obviously you can only get like maybe 500 tickets or whatever.
Yeah.
But you had people in the away end saying, "Oh, who's Phil Foden?" What, are you joking me? Do you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
You like, how did you get a ticket? Like, do you know what I mean?
And this is the thing. It is madness is like really bad, and it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. Unless we City have some massive drop off, it's going to get worse. You know what I mean? So
relegate us to League Two, please.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
we will be there. We will be there.
We will be there if that happened. lot of people wouldn't be. Nothing would change, and that's the thing. I say to people, nothing would change for me. In my lifestyle, nothing would change. Nothing. I'd still go to the games. I'd still do this stuff, and I'd still just live like nothing would change at all.
Yeah, same. Exactly the same.
You know what I mean?
For me, if you chance to go all the league rounds, I'll be up for that. Oh yeah, really barn it away.
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, like, people threaten us with, relegation and all this with the 115. Like, what they don't realise is a lot of these older City boys, like ourselves, and obviously older, we don't care. He sent us down.
And if it did happen, I'd love Pep to stick to his word. Yeah, I'd resign just for the arrogance of it, and we go.
Imagine Pep managing in Blue Square North. Incredible.
The rival fans would love it. The opposite fans would love it. Like, just see Pep on the touchline in their stadiums.
Vanarama League and all that.
Premier League. We're back to back. Premier League, win it again.
We'll still win it before United. We'll still win it before United.
We will.
Oh, 100%.
Brilliant.
But lads, I'm gonna have to shoot. So good to see you. It's good to speak to you again, and we'll be back on soon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keep in touch, mate. See you later.
I'll see you in a bit. Will do, mate. See you later. Bye.
See you later.
Big up, Ryan. Absolute legend. Always a friend of the channel, a friend of both of us as well.
Cracking lad.
There's also bit of Kelkster as well. Come on, it's been good to have both of them on. Yeah, but the four of us rather than just two of us as usual. So it's nice to have a bit guest here and there.
Yeah, nice little show tonight.
It's been good. Yeah, I mean, look, it's good to have a chat because it gives us to sort of vent out some frustrations and say, look, it's frustrating right now. Look, obviously, eventually we'll actually win a game. I'll say we won a game. We actually won a football match. Yeah, it'll be a real celebration. It's because honestly, we're that kind of fan base where we just don't give a shit. It's a bit of a laugh. Look, I mean, the last time we lost 3 games in a row was back in April 2018. It was back then. It's been a long time. So obviously, it's not a lose game anyway, but it is what it is. Yeah, and that's what I say. Right, Brighton lineup. Ooh, you know what? I thought about this a lot more. Right. I think apart from Simpson Busey, I thought the team against Sport was actually all right. I thought we'd be fine. But look, apart from the collapse, obviously, of course, but get rid of that collapse, we should be fine. The thing is with Brighton is that Brighton will have watched that game on Tuesday. They would have watched it and then thought, right, they know our weak points. But the thing is, Brighton defensively aren't good either. So but the problem with us, Haaland's got to step up. He's got to step up. So I think for me, I'll go for a very similar team.
Should we do another lineup predictor?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Big up, Steve.
Do you want me to share or do you want me to get it up and share? Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. Lars and Red Bevo. I think I'll say that's not going to change now. Red Bevo, Lars. Bloody hell, I was never going to change this, though, was it? That's what I mean. Rico Toma. Oh, Jesus, for Toma as well. Oh. Do you know what? I played Kyle. I should do a Kyle against Rico against Toma. As Rico Kanji Gavardio. Do you know what?
Do we know if we're going to have any of the centre backs fit?
Right. Diaz Stones, that's not that. Tottenham, they're about the Spurs. That's confirmed. They're about the Spurs. I think Doku's back now. I think he's back now. I think Kev's back now, probably as well. Jack, well, mate, if Jack doesn't play on Saturday, I'm fuming. If he didn't play, because this Jack playing for England, if he's not playing for us.
Yeah.
That's confirmed. So give Doku back. Right, that's good. Mate, at least they're back. Two more players back to add to the Arsenal. So I'm pleased with that. The thing is,
I'm
I
going
do.
to change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to say 3-2-4-1 formation.
Okay.
Because let's be real, 3 and a 2, we'd expect someone to drop back. But
Yeah.
for me, we haven't got enough defenders to play for at the back. No good ones, anyway.
Right. Skip the right. Let's do a little bit of team management. Me and Pevo are now the managers of City now. I'll be a fun one. Never managing the City team. Be a Mike Bassett, maybe. It must be too much Bassett, pretty much angry.
I know, yeah.
We got the fucking time free. That's more lock, but yeah. Right, Eddie
So
goal,
I think it's let's get the ones that we know are gonna be in first. Just get them in and out the way. I think because it's fair to say it's the first 2 names on the team sheet are always going to be pretty much Ederson and Haaland. That's pretty much locked in, isn't it?
Yeah. Bertie Bassett.
Josko.
Yeah. Look, he wasn't great against Sporting, but I'm not going to blame him alone for that. That was everyone's.
No, the whole team was a mess, mate. Like, yeah.
But I'm not going to say he ruined his season. He's a good season apart from that. So, yeah.
I'm not doing this in any particular order. I'm just looking at. Oh, it's Savinho, isn't it?
Yeah. Which sounds awesome.
I'm not doing this in particular order. I'm just going through positions that I think.
Yeah.
Do you know if Jack's going to be back or?
Right, I'm going to have a guess on the bench, but he won't come on.
Yeah, I can't see him playing or starting.
The problem,
so
I'm not that though.
I'm going to change it up.
Yeah. Nice.
And what I'll do is I'll do this, and then you can agree or disagree.
That's fine. Yep. Those wingers I definitely want to see. Definitely. We have to see them. Today. Yep. He deserves it. Cover, yeah, like that. What a Kev Foden midfield?
I was going to say Kev, but I don't know if he's going to be fit enough. But I'm basing the fact that he played the last 10 minutes against Thingy. I reckon he's going to probably be on the bench. I think you're more likely to see Bernardo and Foden.
Okay. No worries.
And then I mean I would prefer Kev, but I just don't know how fit he is.
Good point. All right.
Because he got brought on. What was it? Got brought on for like the last 8 minutes or something the other day.
Yeah. And but I thought, why? You're 4-1 down. Why?
I know.
At half time, if you're going to bring him on, or after 2-1.
But this is a tricky one because
look, don't be wrong, right? I like Simpson Pusey, but I'm not playing week in, week out yet. I'll give him
no.
But give him home throughout the year though.
I think this one's tough. Who've Brighton got on the left wing?
Matoma. And he's brilliant, mate. Yeah,
What are you thinking?
I'm doing it as well. Look, I love Rico, but he's played so many games, mate. He's a fucking rest. He's a rest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I wouldn't mind Kyle playing centre back. Wouldn't mind it. This team, mate, is so not old, but it needs to change it, doesn't it? It needs that as well. Well, look, with the Stones back, it's fine. It's actually not too bad, but it's just a bit of a pain in the arse of this.
I can't see where we improve from that other than Kevin Foden, but I'm not confident enough to say that Kev's fit enough to start a game.
Right, so let's be honest here, right? When Jack comes back, does he start?
Do you agree with this, by the way?
I agree with this because at the moment this is what we've got. So that's what I agree with. But my question for you though, when Jack comes back into the team, does he start?
Yeah.
Right, okay. On the right hand side who starts, Savio or Doku?
Savio.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Now Foden midfield, that's what I'm going with now. We have to go for that now. And then I think Cover and Nunez is what I'm going for the midfield.
Yeah.
That's what I think that midfield is what I'm going with until at least New Year. The centre backs, look, it'd be Stones, Vardy, Diaz for me. That's my defense.
Well, effectively, what I would expect to see here, I'm just going to move Phil out of the way. What I would expect to see here is this when we're on the attack, but then when they're on the attack, I would expect to see something more like this.
Yeah. I like that, yeah.
So
that's what I agree with that one, by the way. I agree with that. That's what I go with as well.
Because I just feel like doing this when they're on the attack, I feel like we've got enough men playing sort of in a deep midfield role that you could potentially, drop the likes of a Nunez back and a Kovacic back into these sort of spaces. And then you'd expect sort of Savinho and Doku to kind of be around sort of here. That is quite a solid, not defensively solid, but there's enough players back to fill in those gaps where the players have been playing the balls through. So I feel like when we're defending, if we're playing how we had it before with Bernardo and Phil sort of in front of Kovacic and Nunez, I just feel like with Bernardo's work rate, he's sort of more inclined to be that man that drops back.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, for me, this works. It's more like this, but you get where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's you know what I think. That for me is our best. Bear in mind, this is before obviously Diaz and Stones are back, Kev's back, so at least that's positive. We've got 3 more players come back, and Jack as well. So we've got 4 players coming back after the break. So that's good.
Yeah.
But what I reckon should be after that to keep everyone fit until January, minimum.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Because the thing is, in a way, right, we got lucky in a way. We got quite lucky that we have this now, but the teams are under pressure now to get a win. It is like it's 3 in a row we've lost now, and now we've got to find a way of getting this out of the way and get a result. It's like remember, Brighton will know that we're there as a wounded animal. We are right now, like we're and they'll want to put a show on. Like, well, Evan Ferguson's back. He's back fully fit. He's a handful. Him and Welbeck, mate. I say, it wouldn't surprise me, right? Look, if we get a draw Saturday, not ideal, but I take it considering where we are right now. However, I want to see a performance Saturday. I want to see a performance that no matter what happens, even if it is a draw, you fight to the very end. Because sport was an embarrassment. Sporting was an actual embarrassment how we collapsed there. And even Bournemouth, we were terrible. Like, I want to see some fight. I want to see a little bit of, say, all right, we're not playing well, but give you bloody all for this team and the fans. I'm there, Saturday. I'm trying to about half an hour or so, or an hour from where I live anyway. So it's not long at all for me. But for someone who's Manchester, that's like at least an 8-hour journey, probably, if that. Depending on where you're from. So you better put a show on Saturday. A performance worthy of a team. Because I will not sit there and stand watching a team play shit or feel sorry for else. I'm not having that at all. So on Saturday, I want to see energy. I want to see a bit of passion, a bit of fight for the shirt. Minimum is what I want to see Saturday. Minimum. That's all. Look, win, loss, that's football. Show me a performance where I'd be proud and say, you know what, we didn't win the game, but I'm proud of these boys for coming back and fighting back from 3 losses in a row to show a bit of fight for this team. Look, mate, results are results in football. No matter how you play well, play shit. Sometimes you get wins or losses in football, depending on how things go. But I would feel a lot more confident and proud of this team if they should put a bit of fight in. So Saturday, bit of fight. Every one of them will show a bit of fight Saturday.
We're 4-time Premier League champions in a row.
Yeah.
Start acting like this is yours to lose rather than this is yours to win. This trophy is ours to lose.
It is. Liverpool have been the best team this season, by the way. I mean, they've been by far, but they've been way better than we have. Way better.
Yeah.
Much more. And I'd say people as well, with Slot, the manager, and demands respects. Players respect him. Again.
Yeah. The thing about Brighton, the thing about Bournemouth, every 50-50 we lost.
Yeah.
I want to see that commitment and the urge to want to win that ball back and to do something with it. Not pass it sideways, not pass it backwards. I want to see us trying to positively create something. I want to see if they hit on the counter-attack. I want to see every single player on that pitch not running back, sprinting back to get that ball and to help cover your man and cover your mate. Because what I've seen over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, however long it's been, everyone is not playing for the man that stood to the left and right of them. They're not playing for the badge that they wear on their shirt. They're not. There is no commitment, because if there was commitment, you'd be going for those 50-50s. You'd be sprinting back to try and get that ball like your life depended on it. Look like you want to win. What we've seen over the last month or so, even the games that we've won by a thread. You know, it took I'm going to say lucky, because it was just the fact that he was in the right place at the right time. A lucky goal from John Stones to see us over the line against Wolves. It took for a lucky John Stones goal to get a draw against a 10-man Arsenal. We got absolutely hammered by Bournemouth. Hammered. If it wasn't for Edison, it would have been 4-1. What we saw against Sporting on Tuesday night has been coming for weeks. We've been saying weeks. Like I said weeks ago when we played Fulham, If Adama Traore could finish, he'd have had a hat-trick that game.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the desire to play for the man that stood behind you and stood next to you. I'm not seeing the hunger and I'm not seeing the fight. If we lose that ball, I expect Bernardo, Phil, Savio, Doku, Kovacic, Nunes, Walker, Akanji, Gvardiol. I expect every single one of them to be sprinting back to position. Not jogging, not running, sprinting.
Yeah.
Fight like it's yours to lose.
The fans deserve that minimum, by the way. It's a minimum requirement, mate, for a football team. Put effort and fight on a pitch.
You get paid 200-300 grand a week. Sprint for 90 minutes.
We do not expect, right, with every game. We don't. Because results can happen at how you play. If we lose game but put fight in, me and Bevo will be sitting here. We'll be like, all right, it's frustrating, but we move on to the next game.
Yeah.
But we can't do that if we're playing this terribly.
We don't look like we're trying. This is the problem. If we looked like we were trying, we'd be sitting there going, do you know what, boys? You gave it your all. And, I can't knock you for that. You've really given it your all.
That as well, by the way. Luck is potential, but everything. But that's the thing, though. Luck's fine when look. It's fine now and again.
Luck is needed to win leagues. You're right, but I'm just doing the eye test, and from what I'm seeing, I don't see players giving everything that they've got. I just don't see it. Now, you can call me what you want. You can say that I'm wrong. That's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, football's opinionated. But I base my opinions game on game. If we go to Brighton at the weekend and I see every single one of those players putting a shift in to look like they want to win something, but they get hammed 4-1, I'll say, do you know what, boys? You've given it your all.
Yeah.
And that's all I expect. I don't expect us to win every game. I expect us to give our all every game.
Yeah. And section, mate, you bang on. We've been saying it since Brentford, by the way. I watched the game and I thought, shit. Because I knew we'd been found out. I knew if we won the game because Haaland was a beast. But I thought Haaland's goals will dry up if I'm not careful. And what's happened? Dried up a little bit. This is what we got to do. Saturday must be. I'm not saying it must. It's a must win. It's must win, of course, it's win. But performance must improve. I must see fight. I must see passion, desire for everyone around. Because if I don't see it, then I'm fearful going to Anfield.
Yeah,
I'm fearful. Because if this is true about the players not being, and bear in mind, Tone's back to up and said it's true, then what the hell are these players doing? Why is there
what's Tone back up as being true? Sorry.
Right, I'll show you, by the way, because Tone actually mentioned a bit about stuff out again. Bear with me, mate. I'll let you know. 100% correct. He messaged me about saying about some senior players have had their heads down at the CFA. That's right, apparently. That is a disgrace. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We all suffer setbacks in career, in life, whatever. What you do is you keep pushing on until eventually you get them. Now, sounds easy, but that's mindset. That's mentality. Throughout my life, I have been dealt kind of difficulty, yet I've still found a way to push through about what I've been through. Bevo the exact same. I'm sure Steve, Subbo, Section, the chat, all of the exact same. It's not a football thing. This is a mentality of anyone thing. These players have won trophies in the last few years. I expect mentality of fighting for the shirt and for every single ball duel. That's what I expect. Results.
The the other side of it, realistically, mate, there's like Steve says in the chat, we've got players that are carrying injuries and that are out, and young players, there's all sorts of factors. But fair enough, but we're not the only team with injuries. And the other side of it as well, you look at the Sporting game the other night, right? Bar Rodri, maybe Diaz, that wasn't far off what our strongest 11 actually is. With the exception of maybe, a couple of players. But you've got to look at it and say, okay, Kovacic, a serial trophy winner at Real Madrid, a trophy winner at City, trophy winner at Chelsea. He's been around the game for a long time, trophy winner at Inter Milan. These aren't inexperienced players. Kovacic, as I've just mentioned, Gundogan led us to a treble, serial trophy winner. You look at the players that we've got, Bernardo Silva, the players that we've got, even if we do have injuries, we're replacing them with players that should be capable of wearing that shirt. The exception of Simpson Pusey, who, in all credit to him, come into the team in a very difficult time and did all right, to be fair to him. There was a couple of things which, I thought he could have done better on, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to discredit the kid for doing what he's done. He's gone to a pretty hostile place at Sporting Lisbon, playing against a manager who is leaving, so the players were giving it their all. And, for what he did, fair play to him. But all of the other players are quality international players. They're not nobodies. You look at Savinho. Savinho gets into most teams in the Premier League. Doku gets into a good amount of teams in the Premier League. Bernardo Silva gets into most Premier League teams. Kovacic gets into quite a lot of Premier League teams. Haaland, any Premier League team. These players aren't nobodies. Yeah, we've got injuries, but the starting lineup that we had going into that second half should be good enough to cope with what's coming. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Steve, you are right. Look, another day, probably wins a fight. And look, if you win the game, cool. But what we're getting at is the second half run where we collapsed. Should not be happening at all. If we lose the game 2-1, all right, we know what issues are, but we put our effort in. It wins. We are not having a go and get angry at losing. So I'm sorry, that's football. You lose some, you win games. And I just want to see this team on Saturday put some fight in, put some effort in, get some bits in issues, and go from there. If we get that, then I'm happy at that on Saturday. Because like I said, I'm going Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the game. I don't care about if see City play. I'm more grateful to see City play no matter what. I'm looking forward to it. I just want to go there. I want to see a team put some fight in their hearts on the line for the club. You do that, you win the game.
Yeah. And like I've said, even if we get spanked 4-0 that game, if I see the players giving everything that they have got, I will quite happily turn around and say we were beaten by the better team. And do you know what? I'm not going to say anything because from what I saw, the players gave it their all. But right now, I'm not seeing that. I'm just not.
No. Right. Wednesday in a bit. Before we end, predictions for Saturday.
2-2.
2-2. I'm in positive. Happy clapper, because I'm mental. 2-1 City. Nunes, Foden, get the win, get me out of there. Go on a 2-week break on a win. Play and put some effort in. So if I see that,
If we come away with a draw, I'll be happy.
it's sad because it should be a lot more than that, but we have to accept where we are right now.
Yeah,
It's the way it is. So it's what it is. Bring it on. At least answer that, and then what we'll do next week, we'll do a proper assessment next week of so far.
and again, like I say, if we get hammed 2-0, and I see some fight and I see some grit and players looking like they're giving it their all, and we still get beat 2-0, I'll be happy, because I just want to see people look like they're trying. That's all I want. That's all I expect from my team, is that they look like they're trying.
Absolutely. And before we end, I'm going to be on a big six. Well, not the big six. It's going to be quite a big help for me to get on a big six out of nowhere. I'll be on a big six type show on Sunday on United TV. Make sure you're there, 9:30. Looking forward to it. I'll be on with a gal, so I'm interested to see how that goes to be with a gal. But hey, I'll back the City boys really well. I'm probably going to be quite honest on there. I'm not going to be like, obviously defend the club as well anyway. But I'm quite open with certain things, so it could be a whole different perspective.
You're welcome, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you for that, by the way. Bevo actually did that, by the way. So if I'm on there as a future, City percent on the channel, I'm always happy to be there and do that. So make sure you tune in. I'll send a link to that on Sunday before it starts, so you want to come and support me. So that should be good. But apart from that,
I will be in the chat. I couldn't be on the show. I was supposed to be on there too, but I will be in the chat. I want to see as many blues in that chat as we possibly can, because you're gonna have Arsenal fans in the chat. You're gonna have United fans in the chat. I want to see as many blues in that chat as we possibly can, and let's keep because let's be real now. Luke's walking into the Lions' den here. He really is, especially with the results that we've had not going our way of recent. You've got on a United fans channel, they're getting hammer in. There's gonna be some banter getting thrown around. So let's get as many blues in the chat to show Luke our support.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, because I think with me, right, I'm actually a lot more chill than people really look to give credit for. I don't really get rattled by a lot of things, so I used to be much younger, but I'm looking forward to it, because if anything, it gives me a chance to have my say, and it should be a good one. It'd be nice to sort of if we win Saturday, I love that. If we lose, then wow, be a fun Sunday. I'll tell you that. If we lose Saturday, but yeah, bring it on. I'm sure you're there. Link will be I think on the Twitter page on Sunday. Make sure you're there. Yeah, don't worry, Steve. Trust me. I do my best to everyone. I will, but we'll see what happens. But big up everyone in the chat. Big up Steve. Big up Sub. Big up section. Everyone in the chat for chatting away for us. For the last 2 hours, the stream's gone for. Last 2 hour stream that. But to be fair, as always, this show doesn't matter if it's something 2 or 3 or 4 of us. I'm on the show. It's long chat, long discussion. No constraint of time. Just go for it and see what happens. And that's what the show's all about. I'll be there Saturday.
Could have watched an entire footy match.
Could have done, yeah. Well, not United, obviously. It's Pal. Well done. And Chelsea beating an Arc 8-0.
What?
Have you seen their play tonight, Chelsea, in the Conference League?
Chelsea?
They played.
Who were they playing?
They played Noah FC. They won 8-0. They beat an Arc 8-0. So yeah. Mate,
I guarantee they've done that with their reserve team as well.
if they do not bloody win that bloody conference league, they are
Oh, they need to win that conference league.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up everyone for tuning in. Big up Kelkster and Brian for earlier on as well. We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully Saturday can get the win and goes to a break on a good note. Tim on, have a good evening. See you soon.